Welcome back to week 3 of Simplicity Sew Along. I'm sewing up Simplicity 1061 and my name is Laura Nash. In this segment we're going to be marking our pattern, and I've got my front, my bodice front, and my back, and I've got a tie over here. And first thing we need to do is pull out our dressmaker's carbon and our little tool here called a tracing wheel. And I've got some markings on my pattern in orange that show me where I need to mark. And we're going to do this by separating your pattern and slipping in the dressmaker's carbon between. You've got the color towards your fabric on both sides, and there's quite a few layers here. So you need to press pretty hard. Don't try and do this on a hard surface though, because it won't go through. If you've got a piece of cardboard under here, then great. So I'm gonna do this in really short little strokes. I'm not making great big X's, but I need to make sure that all these marks are transferred to my fabric. And I've done a test on this piece here. I wanted to see how it would look on both the red and the background color, and you can see my little marks. The navy blue shows up the best, but the navy blue also kind of bleeds through onto my right side of my fabric, so I didn't want to do that. So then the dart over here on the back piece, I'm going to do the same thing. The only difference is that down here at the bottom, I'm going to clip into it so that when I get those two pieces together, I can match those up, match up my clips, and know exactly I can match up the rest all the way down. The only thing left that we need to mark on this bodice is this notch over here, or this symbol over here, but I also need to mark this placement line. And because it's going to be, I need to have it on the front side of my fabric, I need to match it up with my curved ruler and fold this back and use my chalk wheel to mark that. So you can see that this comes across really nicely, and I've got a symbol over here, but I want to make sure that it's also in line with my seam allowance for my neck. So I'm going to just mark that using my ruler rather than using the mark that they gave me. I want to make sure those lines are accurate. This point right here is going to turn out to be really important to us. The last thing that I'm going to mark with my chalk is my tie. I've got it all pinned together, and I do have a smaller seam allowance at 3/8, but rather than trusting my cut line, I'm going to follow my fold line. And from the fold, the tie is going to be 1 3/4 inches. So I'm going to just mark this all the way across, all the way down. I mean 1 3/8 inches, not 1 3/4 inches. 1 3/8 inches from the fold line. Over here, I'm going to mark that all the way down. And rather than using the symbol they gave me, I'm going to go ahead and mark my cross by matching this tie up with my grid and mark my symbol there, because that's where I'm going to stop and start stitching. So you go ahead and make your marks all the way down your piece. Mark all of your symbols and notches and make sure everything's in place. And when we come back, we'll start with some sewing, and we'll do some darts, and I'm going to show you how I do my trim as well. So see you in the next segment.